Have you ever noticed that the moment you're faced with a big decision in your life, everyone has an opinion? And it doesn't matter what that decision is. It could be changing careers, starting a business, staying in a relationship, ending a relationship, moving, not moving, having kids, traveling, buying a house, renting, following your passions, or being practical. Everyone always has an opinion. And here's the interesting part about that. Most of that advice comes from somebody that genuinely cares about you, which makes it even harder. Because now you're not just trying to figure out what's right for you, but you're also trying to figure out whose opinion deserves the most attention. So today, I want to explore a question that I don't think we ask often enough. How do you know when you're making a decision that is actually right for you, instead of what others think you should do? Welcome to the Inner Launch, where we discuss the small shifts that you create on the inside have the power to transform the life you're creating on the outside. This is the podcast where we create your next chapter from the inside out. I'm your host, Christina Bolkovich, and today we're talking about the difference between the should do or should be's and what you're actually going to do. Because I don't think the challenge is that people give us advice. Advice can be incredibly valuable. The problem is that if you ask 5 people the same question, you're likely going to get 5 different answers. So eventually you're going to have to decide anyway. And that's where taking other people's perspective without losing your own is a very hard thing to learn how to do. So let's start with why decision making is so hard. For example, if someone says, don't start a business because theirs failed, and someone else may say, yeah, start a business because it changed their life. Or something like, never move across country. But like for me, moving was the best decision I ever made. Same decisions, but different life, different conclusions. People don't just give advice. They give you the lessons that they learned from their experience. People are going to see your life objectively. They don't live in your life. They're going to see a version of your life through what they have already lived. So some of the questions that you can ask yourself are things like, what did these people live through that is driving their advice to me? What fear or success shaped their perspective? What values matter most to them? Because here's the thing, we're probably not all going to have the same values. We're probably not all going to have the same perspectives, and we probably didn't all have the same experiences. So anytime that we're taking somebody else's advice, we're taking it from what they got from theirs. So instead of asking who's right and who's wrong, really the question should be right for what? Because what's right depends on the life that you're trying to create for yourself. Not for them. Like if the goal is stability, one decision makes sense. If your goal is freedom, a different decision makes sense. If the goal is adventure, maybe a different answer entirely. Advice without context is just incomplete. So before asking anyone else, next time ask yourself these things. What matters most to me? What kind of life am I trying to build? What am I optimizing for? What trade-offs am I willing to accept? If my decision works exactly as I hope, what would my life look like? And if it doesn't, what am I willing to learn from it? Because learning is just as important. When your values are clear, advice becomes easier to sort out. You don't need everyone to agree. You just need to know what you're measuring it against. Instead of asking, what should I do? Ask yourself, does this advice move me intentionally closer to the life that I'm trying to create? Or further? Sometimes that answer may be yes, and sometimes that answer may be no. Sometimes it's going to show you blind spots that you maybe never even considered. The goal is to filter what you hear through your own values, instead of someone else's. Easiest question for that is, if nobody had told me what I should do, what would I choose? If there were no expectations forced upon me. I know that the older I get, the more and more I care less about other people's opinions, because I realize that I don't need to have a perfect decision. It's all about making the decisions that feel right for me and aligned for me in the life that I'm trying to create and the person I'm becoming. People are always going to have opinions. It's just human nature, unfortunately. Some are going to challenge you, some will encourage you, some will protect you. A lot will project their fears upon you. And all of that is part of being human. But there will come a moment where you have to stop asking, what does everyone else think I should do? And start asking yourself, what feels most intentionally aligned with the life you want to create? Because no one else has to wake up living your life except for you. Which means no one else is going to have to live with those choices except you. And that doesn't mean that you're always going to get it right. You probably won't. I don't. It just means that you will know that those decisions were truly yours. So I want to encourage you today to think about it with all the noise stripped away. If nobody told you what they think you should be doing, what would you choose? This has been another episode of The Inner Launch. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Send this to a friend who may need to hear it, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.